Good morning. Let's get into it. All right, looking at FRGT. Kind of thought that one would squeeze this morning, but it just didn't. Just didn't. Here we go. Get it on. All right, let's see here. Let me get this up. Got it on my other screen. What do we have here? VSEE. This one looks kind of wild. Hopefully we hit this one. Not too much this morning in small caps so far. There's a couple things. What do we have here? Awarded U.S. Department of Health and Human Services FedRAMP high ATO. I don't know what that means. Received authority to operate ATO at the FedRAMP high level from the U.S. Department of Health. And Human Services. Authorization allows federal agencies to use VSEE FedRAMP high is required. Okay. Sounds like it's good. Definitely making the stock move. Major obvious level at $1. So you can see that when it made through $1 right there, it totally blasted off pretty aggressively towards $3, $4. Let's see the resistance here, $4. Yeah, there's a major level there too. Right around 355. The other one may not come into play here at 360 or 635. So, kind of interesting. Wow, what a move there. That's crazy. Let me check on the stats here. VSEE, we got 8 million float stock. A lot of potential dilution, but nothing obvious sticking out. It's kind of a nice multi-day setup, but it's already played out in pre-market here. So really wouldn't be surprised if this tops out somewhere in pre-market. See, it made it up to that next level as well. 353, 355. Can't talk this morning. All right. I'm going to watch that one for sure. XHLD. XHLD is too cheap for me. FRGT, yeah, it tried to push here. It failed at VWAP though. I got scared out of that one. For no reason really. Didn't really have to cut that, but that's okay. Kind of was a sub par trade. YMAT. Another one of these spikers. Just made a video about these. So definitely want to check that out if you want to know more about this kind of a setup. I forgot the ticker name. G something? GNTA, that's what it was. Yeah, exact same setup as GNTA. See GNTA back here. Okay, look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful setup. All right, let's see here. That's about it. That is about it. GPUs. I saw some people swinging this one overnight. Really nice close on it. Pretty nice looking first green day. 400 million shares traded on the day yesterday. Cheapy. But nice pattern. And really nice accumulation down here on the daily. That's looking kind of spicy. Yeah, that one should have been on radar yesterday. Now it has gapped up to the breakout level. So possibly could break out today. But it's also kind of a gap up short. So I don't know. I don't know about that one. From yesterday, it was a pretty clear long, I think. Just catching it towards the end of the day. Record volume day on the daily. Nice close. It gapped up to the breakout level. You know, that's a pretty nice trade overnight. Make 40-50% on that overnight. Now, is it going to keep going? Probably not. But it could. More of a gap up short opportunity until it proves otherwise. But I'm not going to touch it because it's too cheap. A bit too cheap. All right, what else? That's pretty much it on small cap. Not a lot today. Not a lot today. But we'll throw this one on Watch GPUS. Yep. All right. PayPal had earnings overnight. PayPal earnings. I do own PayPal. I own the company. I'm an owner. As a proud owner of PayPal, I'm really happy to see the earnings went well. Wow, look at that breakout. That looks kind of nice. So this has been gearing up for a move for quite a while. Looks like we're finally going to see it. All right, VSEE might be about ready. Let me check. Let me check something real quick. Borrows are expensive as usual Kind of expensive on that. Kind of expensive. Let me see here. It's 0.147 per share. So yeah, it's more than I can pay. Unfortunately, that's the problem with short selling. If you can't get borrows, you can't trade. Maybe I should have been checking back here. I don't know. A little pricey. A little pricey. Yeah, with a lot of these, you got to get them early. Otherwise, they're going to be gone. You're not going to get borrows, or they're going to be so expensive. It's just not worth it. It's probably a great short right now. We'll keep checking, but doesn't look like we're going to get it. All right. PayPal earnings. That's looking good. So hopefully this will sustain now and not just immediately round trip itself like what's been happening a lot lately. Pretty massive breakout there on earnings. So let me pull up the blueprint. PayPal. Yeah, let's look at the 4-hour chart. Okay, here we go. So we ended up pushing it back into 76, 80 area, 76 to 80 area. Obviously, this could go quite a bit higher. We want it to go back into the hundreds. This is the blueprint we want to see happen. We want to see this play out like this for the most part. It doesn't have to get this crazy, but this is best case scenario for PayPal. And it's tracking pretty well, actually. We got a nice deep low right there, a higher low, and then now we're holding up on earnings, pushing back up into this 70 to 80 range. Very nice. So far. All right, next earnings for me is going to be on the 11th, well, 11/4. So coming up next week for Pfizer, we just had news with Pfizer and the White House meeting, which was interesting. It caused this pop right here for a couple of days, and it gave back that entire move pretty much. Now it's kind of just hanging out, and it looks like it's waiting for earnings. So we'll see what that one does. I think it's got potential to run towards the end of the year again. So a lot of things are pretty deep low. They're pretty deep off the highs. So when you get these stocks 70% off the top like that, it's pretty much almost best case scenario. You don't want to be buying falling knives. Got to be careful about that. But a lot of these stocks have been consolidating, mainly like PayPal, for a couple of years at the lows. So it's pretty much based just like Baba did. So same exact pattern with Baba. Baba's back up huge, up about 100% from that area on Baba. That's the main things for me today. Let's see. Nike maybe struggling a little bit. But, it's hard to say for sure. We kind of did the gap fill already. This needs to start rebounding here pretty soon-ish. It had a nice bounce off of this dip. And now, honestly, it's looking a lot like PayPal did. I mean, it's basically very similar pattern there. PayPal. Pop, pull back, holding. It's kind of deciding what it wants to do. Obviously, the trade deals are coming here November 1st. So that's going to impact Nike pretty bigly. Pretty bigly. Could be huge. All right, and Lulu's another one. This is probably my favorite one right now. Aside from PayPal, which is looking really good after earnings. But Lulu has a nice trend break on the daily chart. And it's tracking with this blueprint pretty closely. So if it plays out like this, then we're going to be seeing a really nice rally into November and December. We have earnings coming up as well. Not until December, though. So we got some time on that. And I've got a decent position on Lulu after this trend break happened. So this is for a swing. Now it's going to chop around, and hopefully it's going to break this bigger trend line next. It is reclaiming some moving averages already So we reclaim this 20, and it's reclaimed the 50 as well. So both reclaimed. Now we might get the cross up before too much longer, and it might look something like this. See, when these crossed right here, we had some pull back into the moving averages, and then the cross happened. We had a sick rally off of that. Basically the same exact pattern playing out again. Bigly, that's what I said, Bigly. Tomato, potato. Some people say big league. Some people say big Lee. Potato, tomato. So yeah, Lulu, probably one of the biggest swing opportunities right now, in my opinion. Not financial advice. But I'm buying it right around, what do I have? I think I have 178 something. What do we got? 177.80. 177.80. Let's check on the IO for Pfizer. It's okay. Institutional ownership should be going up. At least not going down. Check on Lulu right here. It's gone down. June. July. Uh-oh, they caught me. They don't like my ad blocker. All right. Anyways, morning, Scotty. Yeah, PayPal, huge move on earnings. Love to see it. I am an owner of PayPal. I do own the company. What do we got? 70, 44 average. So, not too bad. Got it in this consolidation area somewhere over here. So hopefully this earnings move sustains itself and holds up. We don't just round trip because I'm not selling. So I will simply round trip it if it comes back down. Done that before. But really the goal for this isn't not to sell it in the 80s. It's to sell it in the hundreds somewhere. For me. Unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to get VSEE. This looks like it's going to be a pretty nice short. And not much else going on. FRGT maybe decent. Looking like it's very weak into the open. Keep an eye on this one too. Not much else going on in small cap. All right. Yeah, we did have YMAT, which was a super, super nice opportunity here in pre-market for a short. Just made a video about this. So basically the exact same setup as GNTA the other day. Get a nice blowout move and then pretty clean fade on the backside. This one's not as liquid. All right, 1 minute to the bell. Yeah, bars are just too much on VSEE for me, or I would try this short. Wonder if Cobra's got better locates. We got 0.147 at Guardian. Wow, 6064 at Cobra. That's pretty good. I might have to switch. Guardian's pretty good, and you get to reuse your shares at Guardian, but the prices are just too much sometimes. Sometimes it's fine, sometimes it's just too much. Yeah, this was expensive from, I guess I checked right around 9 o'clock, and it hasn't changed price. since then. Okay, Nike coming down a little bit. PayPal. Really hope PayPal holds up. Yeah, we might have to swap over to Cobra. Pretty light day so far, just VSEE, which is a really impressive move. This might kick up some other ones. Still think this gets crushed back down before too long, but see what happens here. FRGT. The only other potential short today is FRGT. Kind of looks okay. Pretty major key level right at 206. Yeah, VSEE cracking a bit. It's kind of a halt fest potential stock, so maybe a little risky, but I would wager it's going to work out just fine. Yeah, BSCE halted down. That one could get kind of wacky. Looks like it halted up and then it immediately went to halt down right after. Mm. 20 seconds to unhalt. Lung. What is this? Haven't looked at this one yet. Earnings. So it's running on earnings. $38 million float. 80% institutional ownership. Kind of odd. Sometimes a red flag. September shelf offering pending effect. It's just not up much. Not much I could do with this. Okay, VSEE halted again for another 5 minutes. Yeah, not something I would be interested in. What else do we got? Ooh, Codex had an offering. It's a small one, only 7 million. So this was a day 2 setup. Didn't touch this one. Obviously, you can't predict those offerings, but they do happen from time to time. Pretty gross move. So this is what they do. They like to push these breakouts, especially in small cap. But they push the breakout. Now that was a clean breakout opportunity yesterday. Right around 70 cents. Breakout level. From that, it pushed quite a bit. 100%. Super impressive move. And that was the pump. So a lot of times these can have a second green day. They can. But this one had a pretty weak close and a gap down because, somebody knows what's going on. And then they drop the offering. So the whole point is to drop the offering for a lot of these moves. And if you get one that's running from below $1 from a sub-dollar stock, pretty deep sub-dollar stock, it came from 36 cents, 35 cents. And if it can make it all the way to $1 and even break over $1 a bit, it could be $1.10, $1.20, $1.30, $1.40. That's usually the top for these kind of moves, just in general. It's very key around that $1 zone. Once it makes it there, the question is, how much past $1 can it make it? Usually it's not much farther. So I could probably make a whole strategy about shorting this kind of stock that's pushed from sub-dollar all the way up to $1, a little above $1 even, and then look to fade it back. And if it closes weak, it's a possible swing short. A little risky, but that's the strategy. We got to do some testing on that, though. doesn't have to be complicated. It's just literally, hey, made it to a buck. The magic number. Start shorting over $1. Risk $2 a share. And then try to get it out for, I don't know, 50, 60% gain over the next day or two. Super simple. That's the trick with a lot of these shorts. It's usually 1-to-1 is pretty good on a short if you get a 1-to-1, because the win rate should be pretty high. Gotta have 70% win rate, pretty much, or better. Wow. UNH. Not like this. Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate to see, but not necessarily a problem for the swing. So it had a nice reaction on earnings, and then right after the open, it slammed right back down. So it's probably just profit taking going on. Gamblers on earnings taking their profits. Wow, it kind of went right into that trend line. VSEE down nicely. Textbook so far. I don't like the halts, but perfect pattern so far on VSEE. If YMAT bounces enough, I'm going to try the short. I would love to see that VWAP move. Pop it into VWAP and we're in business. Ooh, we got ATCH backside bounce. I want some more out of it, but that is a nice pattern on the daily. Okay, VSEE unhalted again. Look at that beautiful move down. Well, we called it live on the stream. At least we called it. So, yeah, I guess I could check earlier for shares too. If something looks like it's going to set up, might get in cheaper. I want to cover some here. This could rebound. It's kind of a crazy one. So $34 million traded in the last 10 minutes. Pretty impressive and pretty low float. It is a potential halt fest stock, so it has already been halted a bunch. It's either going to come back up and reclaim, or it's going to continue fading into oblivion. Little slow morning. It's okay, except for VC, this is kind of the main trade opportunity, I think. Maybe a little something on FRGT. Got some cheapies popping up. XHLD. Nice pop out of the gate. I don't short anything below $1. Pretty impressive move here. Again, it's one of those stocks that it's come from a really cheap price, 30 cents, 20 cents, 28 cents yesterday, and it's trying to get up to $1. So if it gets up to $1, then it's, it's probably going to top out right around $1. Sometimes it could go to $1.20, $1.30, maybe $1.40. But usually when we get these, they tend to top out around $1. Maybe just over $1 a little bit. And we know short sellers love stocks to go above $1. People that are after the cheapies like me. So there will be more selling pressure above $1. Oh, you know what? This could actually be Codex sympathy. Because Codex ran yesterday pretty big. Same exact kind of stock. So this is probably a big potential trade. I do prefer the top to be in before 10:30. So we got 15 minutes. This thing moves easy. And that's the thing with these cheapies. They just move so quick. They're very erratic. Doesn't take a ton of volume to move them around. And this one's trading pretty big volume right now. So $250 million on the day. 39 million in the last 10 minutes. All right, VC trying to bounce. See, just pulled below VWAP a little bit and then It's trying to bounce now, so we'll see how big this bounce is. Potentially could get out of hand here. So we'll see if it wants to reclaim or if it's just gonna simply roll over and come back down towards buck. Still pushing pretty big volume. I vote down. XHLD is a big potential opportunity if it goes above $1 before 10:30. And it's free to borrow. Oh man. That's interesting. Free to borrow. That's kind of a red flag too, because it's just going to make it easier for people to short, which could mean it could squeeze easier potentially. Plus, on the back of Codex yesterday, sort of a sympathy to that. Might have some momentum. Probably should scalp it. Looks like a potential double top. Just gonna try to build in a little bit long, but looks like it might be done. If it comes back up, we might try again. Might try to build along for a little scalp up towards buck if it can hold here. Ooh. It's trying to hold. Let's have a starter on. Yeah, it's probably about it. Not sure. It did have a nice second leg up right there. All right, it's trying to go. It's going to make it or break it right here. Yeah, it's probably about cooked. Looks like a fail. Probably should have gone right there. Just scratch loss on that. Not my favorite kind of trade. No, but might try again. I think I'm done with it. All right, well, the main trade is FRGT. So still waiting for that to play out. We'll give that some more time. That's looking okay. Hopefully XHLD will push over $1. Doesn't look like it's going to. It really wants me to short it right here, but it's too cheap. So we're going to avoid it. Technically, it's still kind of holding trend. It's trying to break the trend right now. Does look like an okay short. But we're going to call it there. If FRGT works out, I'll post that in Discord. Otherwise, it'll be pretty scratch trade. So probably going to cut it around VWAP if it comes back up. But that'll be it for today, guys. Good luck. We'll be back tomorrow.